I set myself a challenge. If I could only grow one next year, what would the one variety of each crop be to be as self-sufficient as possible? And that is what this video is for. Your garden probably looks a bit like mine. The beds are beginning to empty, and so it means that we can start thinking about the next growing season. And so hopefully this helps you with your seed order. And all of these varieties, plus some extra ones, feature in my upcoming book that I wrote with Sam Cooper called How to Grow Food. It's our no-nonsense guide, crop by crop, practical way of being self-sufficient by growing your own food, and you're going to love it. So pre-order your copy so that can arrive once all of your seed packets arrive, and it can help you grow an abundance of food. I'm going to shock a lot of you for the first one because it is potatoes, but I can already hear you speaking to your phone or your device saying, Sapo mirrors, that's what he was going to say. It isn't actually. If there's only one crop that I could grow for self-sufficiency, it would actually be Charlotte potatoes, because they're superior in flavour and they are so productive, and they're just such a nice potato to use either as a new potato. You can get away with roasting them as well, but they come out so clean, they're so productive, and they're not a main crop, so I'm not kind of worried about the blight side of things. So for potatoes it would be Charlotte. Now carrots are a hard one because there's so many fantastic varieties, but this is about self-sufficiency and reliability. And one of the biggest issues of growing carrots are carrot root flies. They're a pest that cause a lot of issues. There are ways to prevent it, but part of the whole idea of growing your own food is sometimes having to sacrifice things like flavour because you're trying to juggle so many different other crops. And carrots is a good example of this. So the one that I would go for would be resist-to-fly. Now, an even harder category for me was beetroot. I adore beetroot, such a good crop, and there are so many different varieties of beetroot out there that give you so many kind of different flavours, different colours as well. But for me, again, it's thinking about that dependable variety that tastes really nice, and that's going to be beetroot boltardi. It's also really easy to source. Most of these plants, or varieties in particular, I've picked out to be easy to source for you to find seeds as well. But beetroot boltardi, slow roasted, you can't go wrong. It is delicious and it is very productive. In terms of summer radish, I would go for French breakfast. Now there are different types of French breakfast, but a lot of seed packets just say French breakfast. It grows really quickly. You can eat the tops as well of French breakfast in the same way you can eat the tops of carrots, you can eat the tops of beetroot, but French breakfast works really nicely and is always my go-to. In terms of winter radish, I would go for something like daikon radish or mooli radish. It grows massive, it can feed a lot of people, you can do a lot of different things with it in the kitchen, and one of the brilliant things about it as a radish is that you can start it a little earlier if you want, but in terms of kind of harvest, you're harvesting things like maybe your beetroot and your carrots over August time, then winter radish, like the daikon, is such a good thing to plant to then give you a substantial harvest of food later on in autumn and into winter. Parsnip, there's been one variety of parsnip that I have been growing for about 12 years because, well, probably more actually, it just does so well, and it is probably one of the kind of traditional ones that a lot of gardeners grow for good reason, and that is tender and true. And if you've never grown parsnips before, there's always a trick of harvest parsnips after the first frost, because the cold weather turns the starch into sugars to help protect against the cold, but for us, our taste buds benefit because it gives us a sweeter flavour. And if you're looking for turnips, then I would go for Tokyo Cross. They're so reliable, they're really fast at growing, and they give you these like beautiful, almost perfect white turnips that if you eat them around the size of a golf ball, don't have that really turnipy flavour, and you can eat the tops as well. And for bulb fennel, there's a lot of different varieties, but fennel is quite well known for running to seed prematurely. It's called bolting. And so you want to try and find a variety that you can plant that doesn't really have as much of a risk of that. And for me, Rondo Rondo fennel is a brilliant variety. It's so productive, it's so tasty, and I love fennel. I love that aniseed flavour of fennel. A lot of people don't like it, but if you are going to grow fennel, grow Rondo. Now we're in the Alliums category, and we're going to start off with onions, and a lot of you know that I'm going to say stew on. And the reason why is that it is brilliant. I've been growing it for years. I've never had an issue with it bolting or running to seed. I have had issues in the past of things like Red Baron, a red onion variety, running to seed quite often. But with stew on, I grow from sets. Now, sets, you want to pick the right variety, and that's what stew on is great for. You don't have the faff of starting off lots of tiny little seeds. Stew on is brilliant because it just has that want to grow. I don't know really how to explain it. Every time I grow stew on from sets, it just gives us an amazing harvest. And don't go to a garden centre to buy a little bag of sets, because that's a little bit too expensive. Instead, look at online, look at a bit of bulk, maybe get a few of your garden friends together, buy in bulk, and it actually becomes really cost effective. Next is leeks. I adore leeks. This was another hard category for me, but again, thinking for self-sufficiency, the winner for me, it had to be a really hardy leek and one that would stand long and into spring without bolting prematurely, and that is Bandit, because I can still be harvesting Bandit in mid to late spring before it's sent up the flowers. So I have a really long harvest period from about October until May here in my climate of being able to enjoy leeks. And leeks are great because even if you're starting to run out of your onions, you could then like chop up and store your leeks and use those in some of the recipes. But Bandit, my absolute favourite. Garlic is another tough one. There's a few good varieties out there. Not sure how you pronounce it, but Cascon White, that is what I would recommend starting with. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and say also try elephant garlic if you can. That is a lot it seems a lot less fussy. It isn't technically a garlic, but you can use it like a garlic. It's just not quite as mild. It's more closely related to a leek. It is really expensive to source, but it is really easy to grow, really productive, and you can just keep on planting those cloves year after year. Now into the fruiting category, and we're going to start off with courgettes or zucchinis, and I would just go for a Romanesco. Romanesco is great. It has a lighter coloured skin. It looks lovely. It's nice and productive. Harvesting the smaller fruits will give you a more buttery flavour. Harvesting the larger fruits, great for grilling, things like that. Romanesco. In terms of a winter squash, I would go for Ukichi curry. This is great because the reason why I've picked it is because of its manageable size. You can grow some massive squash like jumbo pink banana, but you kind of have to try and process all of that in one go. Whereas Ukichi curry is smaller, it's nice and sweet, it stores really well, and it's just very usable, and it is popular for good reason. Cucumber is really hard because the variety really depends on if I'm growing it indoors or outdoors. So I'm going to share one for the outdoors, which is Market More. Market More always gives really good results outdoors. Yes, the skin can be a little bit tougher. You can always peel the skin. It is a very pleasant, very easy to grow cucumber that I grow outdoors every single year. In terms of undercover, if you've got a polytunnel or a greenhouse, then by a country mile, a winner has been Cassandra. This is a hybrid variety, but sometimes in terms of feeding yourself, picking those hybrid varieties are going to get you the incredible results that maybe an heirloom or heritage don't. So it's trying to balance the want of trying to grow the right things, the heritage things, but also trying to acknowledge that there are some varieties that just are far superior and far more productive that are worth growing if your goal is to feed your family as much as possible. And for me, Cassandra F1, I've been growing that for about 3 or 4 years now, and I adore it. It's a brilliant, prolific producer. Aubergine or eggplant, just a standard one that you can source. You could even buy it as a seedling to save you the faff of having to start it from seeds, but that would be Black Beauty. Now what about chilies? This is such a broad category. It's not as hard as the categories coming up after this, but chilies, I went for Padron because they are so tasty. They sometimes do have a bit of heat. You can play a game of padron roulette, but just cooking them on a hot pan or hot skillet, blister them, blister the skins, just a little bit of olive oil and salt. It is such a nice side dish. Now we're going to go into tomatoes. I'm going to do cherry tomatoes, which I would go for Gardener's Delight, just a simple, easy to find tomato that you can often just buy as seedlings in a garden centre. So if you're new to gardening, that's sometimes a nice way of getting started. In terms of a salad tomato, I would always go for Tigerella. Some of you might think I would have said green zebra, but Tigerella wins in terms of the productivity, the yield of the plant compared to green zebra. So that was quite a simple process for me. The other one that I would then go for beefsteak that I've had really good results every year is a hybrid called Tamand, and that's great. Really good, really dependable, good flavour, fantastic yields. Great on a bit of toast with some cheese. Hello, it's Hugh here from the future. I forgot a whole crop, which is sweet corn, and man, I love sweet corn, but I've had so many disasters in the past, but the one variety that has given me consistent, reliable results, even on subpar summers, that has been Early Bird. Early Bird is so sweet, it is so simple to grow. I think it's called early because it crops a little bit earlier, and yeah, now I actually really enjoy growing sweet corn. Now in terms of greens, we're going to start with spinach, and a really good dependable variety is called Matador. It doesn't bolt as quickly as some other varieties, it's fairly hardy, easy to source. I would just make sure that you succession plant some fresh spinach during this growing season every couple of weeks, and maybe grow it in a shadier area during the summertime, but Matador is great. Lettuce, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to tell you just to get a mixed pack of lettuce and maybe just direct sow that over a bed, and you'll have lettuce coming out of your ears. Don't sow the whole packet, save half so you can sow that a little bit later, but you've just got a mixed pack so you can pick the leaves as and when you need it. And for chards, I would do the same. I would go for a mixed pack. It's either going to be called Bright Lights or Rainbow Chard, so you've got a bit of colour in your garden, but it does give you a lot of food. Now for legumes, we're going to start with garden peas. Oh my days, do I like garden peas. Brilliant, so many really nice varieties out there, but a good reliable one that I grow and will grow every single year is Ambassador. Ambassador is brilliant, or Ambassador. Ambassador or Ambassador. And for the Mange Tout, or the sugar snap category, that would have to be Oregon Sugar Pod. It is absolutely prolific. It is probably my absolute favourite vegetable to put into a stir fry, and it tastes so good. It's like one of the best garden snacks out there. Dwarf French beans, in terms of like productivity and self-sufficiency, dwarf French beans won't be high up there on the list, but they're really useful for plugging smaller gaps around the garden. There are different colour options available, but just a good, dependable, solid one is a variety called Annabelle. Going on the other scale of the height spectrum, runner beans. These can grow really tall, 7-8 foot, over 2 meters, and a lovely variety that, I mean, it must be a heritage variety by now, but it's called Scarlet Emperor. It's beautiful. You can eat the flowers if you want to, or you let them create bean pods and eat the beans, and the pods can be eaten green, or you can save the beans and dry them for casseroles. And for broad beans, I would say Aquadulture Claudia is great, but perhaps consider growing field beans, which are just a smaller type of fava bean. Now, they're a little bit more of a pain having to pod and harvest because they're smaller, but they're so much more reliable. They're super winter hardy, and they are also super productive. I found that I get a higher bean weight per square metre compared to broad beans. So any kind of field bean that is sold as a green manure is great, or you could get like a culinary variety like Vespa. And onto the Brassicas. I'll start off with Chinese cabbage. Chinese cabbage is a brilliant way of producing a huge amount of food very quickly, and it is great for planting towards the end of the growing season to get another harvest before winter properly sets in. So the Chinese cabbage I always grow is called Yuki. For kale, it was a bit of a battle between Cavolo Nero kale and dwarf green curled, but for me I went for dwarf green curled because to me it feels more productive per square metre. And it's also about how do you eat it, because there's no point growing a plant if you don't really want to eat it. And I love kale chips, you know, with a bit of garlic, bit of smoked paprika on there, bit of smoked salt as well. So kale chips work really nicely with the curled kale. For cabbage, I would say go for Greyhound. Greyhound, it's really productive. It creates a nice pointed cabbage. It's very easy to grow. It has been around for many, many years for good reason. Cauliflower is an interesting one because a lot of people struggle with cauliflower, but it's usually because it just doesn't have enough fertility. It is a very, very, very hungry crop. So if you give it a lot of well-rotted manure or a load of compost into the hole when you're planting it, you should be fine. And the variety that I go for, it's a little bit boring, it's a little bit vanilla, but it is cauliflower. I would go for all the year round, or all year round, probably all of the year round. It's a bit of a mouthful, but so's cauliflower, but it's tasty. In an air fryer. Smoked paprika again. Yeah, you might be seeing a bit of a correlation here. Broccoli. My mind, when I was thinking what would be the one broccoli I'd grow for the rest of my life, it was in the purple sprouting category of broccoli, and Claret F1, wow, that is brilliant. It's so productive during the hungry gap, so that's like the leanest time of year when the winter veg has finished but the summer veg hasn't quite started. And Claret it just keeps giving. And if you're really desperate, you can also eat the leaves. And for pak choi, which adds a really pleasant crunch, you can use it in a variety of ways in the kitchen. It's really, really fast at growing and productive, just like kind of Chinese cabbage. I'd probably pick Chinese cabbage out of pak choi if I could only choose between the two. But in terms of the variety for pak choi, a good one to start with is Joy Choi. I don't know about you, but I am super excited about the 2026 growing season, mainly because of using my radical kind of approach, slightly controversial approach of preparing beds for winter without using any compost, saving it for when I need it. So enjoy.